Hello. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Godswill. This is That's Dope. We got Josh, and we have a very, very special guest. We have VampyBitMe, who is here to join us on the podcast. Super excited to talk to a fellow Gundam nerd. We've worked together for like such a long time, but we've never like really hung out. And it's a pleasure. I'm excited that we get to like finally hang out and just like shoot the shit. So
I am stoked. I mean, when you asked me to do this, I was like, do what? Oh, podcasts? I don't really do these, so I'm really excited to be part of this. So thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, no, thanks so much for joining us. Like, I've been wanting to talk with you for forever. I mean, I remember like a while ago you told me to jump on Monster Hunter Rise, and then I just never followed up before. I got it, I played it, but I just got busy with other things.
Because you know what? It's always going to be there. I mean, they have so many games. It really doesn't matter if you go start now or later. You're going to be hooked either way.
I was wondering, because like also I've just been doing like the offline portion, and I think so like just try to get the hang of it, but I don't really know too much about Monster Hunter.
I think the magic about Monster Hunter, I don't know, Josh, do you play Monster Hunter?
Man, I'm about to admit everything right now. So.
Okay, well, I mean, sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's cool. I was trying to lie and be like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I loved that series as a kid. Like when I was a kid, I always saw it and I always wanted to play it. And then when I finally had some roommates have it, they had Monster Hunter World.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I jumped in and I went to the tutorial area and there was like a bunch of weapons to choose from and they were all completely hard to use and confusing. It was like, I picked Charge Blade, and I was like, I'm never going to figure this out. I lost my attention span almost immediately. I was like, I'm going to go back to something else.
Hey, but you're honest because everyone who uses Charge Blade in the beginning gets confused.
So that was just a one-off. Like, I could have went to something else.
It's honestly one of the hardest, for me at least, and for a lot of other friends. But once you get it, you get it. It's just like any other weapon. The tutorials in the beginning, like if you're starting off, it doesn't teach the player insanely well. They just say, here's a weapon, try it out. And that's it, Mm-hmm. The tutorials gotten a lot better since the beginning, like older games and stuff. But then now I still get very confused. So don't worry.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better.
It's just like one of those, like any game. You just got to get used to it. That's all. But I mean, we can all play together.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
I'm super
extending that because I know I'm going to be on Sunrise like day one. So
when's that supposed to be coming out?
Hunt. I am down to hunt and teach or whatever.
Should we get into Rise or should we wait for that one?
It's in June. Definitely Sunrise. Like just go with Sunrise. They have PC out and it's faster to get through the game. You can get through the initial beginning of the game in 1 week.
Wow.
So that's not bad. You know what I mean?
It's not bad at all.
And then you can start fighting the monsters right away.
And what is Sunrise? Is Sunrise like a expansion to Rise?
Yeah, expansion. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's more like the dark, like they have vampires, werewolves, that kind of like vibe with it. So it's going to be really cool. Like it's going to come out in June.
Okay.
So they're going to debut more, and I'm like crazy. They're going to debut more monsters in May. So that's really exciting. Yeah.
Okay. Yo, we could do that, guys. Well, because you're done with Rise right now, right, Vampy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will finish Rise. No, we'll get Rise. Let me finish Elden Ring, then we'll get Rise, and then we'll jump on Sunrise with her.
I think you're going to have so much fun. I mean, if you don't have the time, totally understand.
But I want to.
I mean, I don't mind like jumping in there and helping you guys through the story because it could be real fast.
Please. Yeah.
I got like a team of friends that do this just for fun. So you will get through the game in like 3 days if you really want to.
Okay.
I got you guys.
I'm about it. Yeah, I'm down. Let's do this.
I just enjoy it. It's one of those games where, you could play with your friends. It's all very, it could be as fun as you want, or as technical as you want. So that's what I really like about Monster Hunter. You can, karting. It's really funny after a while with a bunch of friends and everyone karts. There's a lot of inside jokes with that game that I really enjoy. So, yeah.
Is karting like mounts or something like that?
A karting is like dying, but you're not dying. You're on a cart back to your campsite. That's when you kind of like lose enough life from the monster and then you just cart back. So it's kind of embarrassing in the beginning.
Wow.
To be carted,
Okay.
So put on a cart back to the campsite where you have to go back
That's what's been
to the monster.
That's what's been the weirdest thing with Monster Hunter. Like they're very like, it seems like Monster Hunter, you're fighting big beasts and stuff, but then they don't take themselves that seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, there's like cats cooking food and stuff.
Yeah. And it's like it's a very interesting twist when you start getting into the community. The community is probably my favorite part of any kind of fandom. Like even One Piece, Gundam, sometimes Gundam. No. Sorry, but we'll get more into that. But
really Gundam too,
because Gundam's a war, very war-based anime. It's very political, But I think that for Monster Hunter, it's more lighthearted in a lot of ways with the fandom. So you see the memes online, and they're pretty fun. So I can talk about Monster Hunter all day.
I mean, hey, like again, yeah, we gotta like honestly probably have a Monster Hunter specific episode with you. I mean, there's so much, there's so many questions for sure. I mean, I'm like, should I ask more Monster Hunter? Like, one more. Like, what's your weapon of choice in Monster Hunter?
Oh, yeah, like for sure, I love the hammer. I like the slower, beefier weapons. Kind of like, just I like the weight of.
Like whamming on,
hammer or
like
something
health bars drop.
like a great sword, and I like knocking them out. That's my favorite thing to do. I want to be the front runner in the team. I'll just hit the head. I'll break the horns for you. Get whatever you guys need because those are the rare parts.
Okay.
And then you cut the tail for me.
Oh.
So we got someone like a longsword player, a dual blade person cutting the tail. You can also cut the tail with different other weapons, but generally we go with the great sword or something like that, or you have a hammer person breaking the horns for you so you can craft your really nice weapons with that. So generally I come in there if they can't do something.
Wow.
But I like heavier or slower weapons.
Okay. I'm gonna keep that because I think that's what I liked more. I thought I would like the fast stuff, but I think I do like the idea of just sort of cranking on someone,
Yeah, it feels good, because because I feel like with dual blades, a lot of times you're going so fast and you don't know what you're hitting.
It doesn't really hurt, or like, is it doing anything?
I like to be more precise. It's kind of like you're playing, Elden Ring. If you're talking about Elden Ring, you got to be pretty precise with your hits. Or, like Dark Souls games. If you just miss once, you're dead.
Done.
Yeah. So I think that having that aspect to a fun game with friends is really exciting, and you can just always feel like you're getting better. I think that's why I like Monster Hunter, because you always feel like you're advancing, even after 1,000 hours. You're just like, oh, I'm still learning stuff.
There's still more to get.
That's the cool thing about like Monster Hunter. So
that's awesome. Okay, you sold me.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, let's tell everybody what she does.
Yeah, I'm about to ask. I did want to ask. I was like,
we're just talking.
We haven't introduced you. Yeah, we haven't introduced you at all.
Cool.
So, hi, this is VampyBitMe. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And also, I'd love to hear about like how you got your name, VampyBitMe. I've always wondered about that.
Okay. I don't tell a lot of people this.
Also, if you don't want to, like, that's all good.
It's kind of embarrassing. So, not really anymore, but okay. So my parents never really wanted me to do anything like this. They're like, okay, costumes, why do you waste so much money on your costumes? It's so silly. It's, like growing up in a pretty strict Asian family, they're from the Bay Area. They're just like, oh, to go into tech or be a dentist or something. And I'm just like, what? No, like I'm not gonna, I mean, it was pretty hard because my family was super strict. And I was like, okay, this is 2007. And I was like on Xanga and LiveJournal or whatever. And I was writing like some crazy stuff, like in MySpace, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go crazy one day and just leave everything behind and do what I want. And, I didn't want them to know what I was doing. So I was like, okay, I like vampires. So back then I was like, I really like vampires, werewolves and stories like that. So it was like Vampy. And so I was like, Vampy, okay. And then the available websites that you could purchase instead of .com were BitMe. And I thought that was so funny. Like me and my friend were like, that's so dumb. VampyBitMe. So we were laughing while we bought the website. I don't own the website anymore. Someone bought
that's
it,
dope though. I didn't know about
yeah,
that.
like, so I was like, that is so dumb. Like, you can buy BitMe. So I put VampyBitMe. We thought it was funny, and I was like, hey, let's make a character around this. So we made this character that was a vampire chick that was kind of a loner, and the comic is actually like with Udon Entertainment, so they have like a little comic. I was going to do a series, but then I stopped it because cosplay took off.
Okay.
So like I kind of wanted to actually write like little like children's stories and stuff, but like little cute vampire novels or whatever. And the girl had one fang, so she was a fake vampire. So she didn't have a lot of friends. She was kind of a loner. So then she would bite other animals, like little dogs or cats or octopus or whatever, when on her journeys, and they would have one fang too. So those were her army. So it was like a vampy army. And I just had this story like in my head, and we had little comic book strips on my blogs talking about that, and it was fun for like a year. And then I guess that's how the name Vampy took off. VampyBitMe took off. And I used to write for like random like websites about like top 10 best martial arts movies, top 10 best manga, whatever. That's how I made money.
Hey.
So I'll be, writing for these various websites. And then I guess like I started doing photo shoots. I was anti photo shoots back then. I was like, I hate pictures, which is a high contrast of what I do now.
Yeah, right.
But I was like anti everything. I was kind of an edgelord back then. So I was just like, I don't want to do pictures. Like, I don't, like, why?
Yeah.
You know?
That's the man.
But I think it's because I didn't know. You know, a lot of people with that hard exterior is because they don't know. You know, they have to act like a certain way. And I think that's how I was back then. Super like, you know, sheltered in a sense, you know, from the outside world. And I didn't want anyone to know me. But the more I started going to shows and meeting people, I was like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. You know, I could share my fandom with others, and it's a nice feeling, you know, because before I would just have my fandom for me. Like, okay, I read comic books because me, like, I like this for me only. So it was very private for me. So like sharing it through making up a character was actually very fun. So ever since then, I kept going with it. But initially, VampyBitMe was a joke.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's a cool joke. I like that story, actually. And
my family didn't find out about it for the longest time. They're like, this girl named VampyBitMe kind of looks like you.
I wonder who that could be.
In these costumes, but is that you? And my older brother was the first one to find one of my pictures.
Wow.
He found my Morgan picture, and he was like, that's you, dude. Oh, that's you. And I was like, shit.
What a snitch.
He's my older brother, like 1 year older. And he was like, did you tell our family that you're doing this? And I was like, no. And he was like, dude, like, it's so easy to find you. And I was like, okay. I think this was 2010.
Oh, man.
And then I was like, okay, I better say something. So, that's why when you asked me, like, should I call you Linda or Vampy? Like, either way, of course, I would like to say Linda, but too late now. Vampy is everywhere, and I just stuck with it. Yeah, it just makes sense.
That's cool, though. Yeah. It's a really cool story.
Long story. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's a beautiful story because I mean, it mirrors even my story, like where my parents didn't like what I do. In fact, still sort of don't like what I do. Like they still want me to go to medical school. And
oh my God, we're the same.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like for a close time, it was like close to being disowned, honestly, you know, but like Nigerian, like immigrant families, but you know, like you show them like it can make money and that people like it. And you know, it's important stuff. Like it's really cool.
They still think it's fairy dust or something. They're like, okay, I see the checks coming in and you're not we're not taking care of you.
You're right. It's like I'm able
but I don't
to take
believe
care of you
still.
Right? It's just sort of
Yeah.
like, all right,
Like
whatever.
you had to do what for tax? Like this is not. It doesn't make sense. I get you. Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that you were also like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm laughing as you're telling your story too, because it's just sort of like, wow, how close.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you really pioneered this stuff, and like you took really good advantage of like the time period, you know, and here you are now, like killing it.
I think that, you know, like back then you're very hungry, especially in the Bay Area. I don't know where you guys are from now.
Dallas.
Like, huh?
Dallas.
Oh, Dallas.
Yep.
I'm from Oklahoma, by the way.
Wow.
Oh,
well, I'm not near Dallas.
Yeah. I mean,
how about you, Josh? Where are you?
I've been in Dallas for a while. I'm from the East Coast. Yeah, I was in Jersey and New York, and then I moved down to Dallas. And that's how I met Godzilla.
This whole time, I thought you guys were like Cali or something.
I mean, I'm in Cali now. Yeah.
Okay.
I just visit him every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
See. Yeah, I'm from Oklahoma. So, like, you're so hungry for anything. I was, like, in the smallest town in Oklahoma. It was Okmulgee, 13,000 people. Asian. What the hell?
The only one. Oh,
what
God.
is an Asian? Like, you know, like, what is that? Why is your hair like that? Why is your family like that? Like,
that's rough.
And I was so hungry for anything that pertained to maybe a glimpse of what I am.
Mm-hmm.
So all I saw in magazines were anime, and I was like, "Oh, this creator looks like my family."
Right.
This is when I was like 5.
Oh,
you know, and I was like, "Oh, they kind of look like what I, you know, maybe." And that's how, like, I think me and my brother like gravitated towards cartoons and anime because we're like, oh, these people did it too.
Mm-hmm.
So it made my brother into an artist. Like he loves drawing and like he loves reading manga. My brother's a librarian now, like in Santa Clara County, and he teaches kids about comics, manga, like, and he brings in members of the community to talk about nerd fandom. So I'm really proud of my brother.
That's awesome.
So like he wanted to be a teacher, and I was like, well, what's better? Like he loves reading. Like our whole lives we read everything. So comics to manga, everything. And like now that he's doing it, I'm doing something so we can work together in the future.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that later.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
like there's a bigger meaning behind all the things I do, and I'm trying to like figure it out. I think that all of us in this space, we're trying to figure it out day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can we evolve this scene? How can we make this a scene where everyone feels included? Like what you guys are doing for podcasts, like this is important because people who are generally like us, like lost sometimes and don't have many friends who like what we like. It's nice to have that inspiration. I don't think a lot of people realize like inspiration or someone believing in you, how powerful that is. That is very powerful. Like if I had that, I think I would have been a superwoman back then.
I mean, you are a superwoman right now, you know? Like that's like the awesome thing.
I'm older now and I feel like I can help people and I'm happy about that. Like that's my goal. Like I think being as alone as I was back then, and maybe we didn't have the internet because I was born in the early 80s. So like everything that we liked was very organic through just Saturday morning cartoons, you know?
Yeah, you saw what you saw, right?
Kind of thing. So, like games, you know, NES, whatever we played there was inspiration. So, we're very privileged and lucky right now, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People are eating good. Like, anime fans eating good. I mean, the fact that like nerd culture, is winning as it is.
It's just ridiculous. Like, every day I wake up and my friends are like, how are you doing today? I'm like, I could be complaining, but life is pretty freaking good to be a nerd right now.
Yep.
I love it. No, that's amazing. Cause like, that adversity, I think shaped you into a great person from what I can see now. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of things that seem to have come from that. I mean, if this was easy for you, I mean, even God's situation, if it was easy for you. It
might have been, taken for granted in a way, you know, like that the adversity like really shaped you and like really honed you to like be intentional about what you do. And I think like also to like instill like better, you know, a good message for the community. I think, I really do like how you grow into it and then like who you are today. And like every time you make a post, it's always like love and peace, and like this is like for the community, like, and let's all just share our passions together, really, I really dug
I
that.
think it's so important, like not like because I'm thinking about the kids all the time. It's not
right.
that.
No one
sure.
is. Let's be completely
We're
honest.
still kids at heart.
Yes.
But I think that there's a lot to be said with every motion. Like when you're reading like a manga, especially, any kind of story, and every page means something. Every motion that you do means something. And I feel like every day that I live, I want it to count, and especially with the things that I choose to say throughout the day. I'm not trying to be the most positive person. I'm very realistic in real life. But I think that if you aren't, speaking in a tone that's, I guess, like welcoming to a fandom, it's hard for others to understand where you're coming from, because if it truly makes you happy, the things that you say should reflect that, I don't know. A lot of times, like I might go really off here, but a lot of times these fandoms bring in a lot of negativity. I can understand where they come from, but if it innately makes you angry, I don't know
why do it
if it's healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I maybe you should take a break.
Yeah.
Like from your Gundam fandom if it pisses you off every day.
Yeah.
Or maybe step away from the internet because maybe it's not worth it. Because I personally think being a Gundam fan or One Piece fan or any fan for that matter is just a blessing, Like this is art. We are living like and breathing and watching and everything is art, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's coming from someone's head, and someone's hands, and someone's speaking these things, and you're just like, this is magic, it's brilliant. So why not celebrate it? So
wow.
Yeah, that's where I guess where I come from.
You said it
fandom.
Absolutely right. I think it's like that's how I feel about this. Like 40 years ago they didn't have anything like this, right? Like
No.
like at least not to this extent. Like 100 years ago for sure it was just pretty much survive, I guess, right? Before, like 200 years for sure, I should say. Like
you go to Suncoast. I don't know if you guys remember Suncoast.
Did we have Suncoast really? Like,
did you guys have Suncoast? Oh, maybe that's a California. I'm not sure.
I feel like that was more of a California.
I've never heard of Suncoast.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I heard about it, but like, I don't think we had it in Dallas.
So, did you guys have stores? I'm sure you had stores where they had like VHS and like the Evangelion like laser disc.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we had a store called Suncoast, and it was Evangelion just came out, and it was $40 for one disc. And me and my brother looked at each other, and at that time we're like super into Earthbound. So I was just Mother 2. Do we buy this? Because we shared everything. We were 1 year apart. So I was like, Danny, do we share the guidebook for this, or do we get this? And my brother was like, Evangelion. And I was like, no, these guidebooks for the game. And we would fight because we're like, no, we should share one.
Uh-huh.
So one month we would get like the Evangelion laser disc, and he was all about Rei Ayanami. And I was like, okay, she's cool.
She's
but I really want to know how to, really want to look at this art book because I really like game, guides. So
honestly, yeah, like I'm with you with there. Like I think the game guide goes farther than like Evangelion, but then Evangelion is probably like a better investment, right?
I think so. Well, my brother was like super into that kind of like look, and I really liked it too. I don't know if you guys are huge Evangelion fans.
I love Evangelion. Did you watch it, Josh? I love it.
Yeah, I watched it. I personally I know Evangelion. We say this all the time. Evangelion FLCL came out around the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I prefer FLCL. Like I'm a huge Fooly Cooly fan. I liked Evangelion, but Fooly Cooly is like my thing. 6 episodes.
Fooly Cooly is just brilliant. Like it's music, the art style, the characters, so stylish. And then when you get Evangelion, you're just like, what is happening?
Right.
I don't even know What are you doing? Like, what's going on?
It just goes so crazy, especially at the end. Oh my god!
I say that and I cosplay the characters, but I still don't understand.
I mean, also,
like,
have you seen the last movie too? By the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Still, it's so crazy and out there, but at the same time, I'm glad that like it finished.
The ending. Okay, we're not talking about spoilers, right? But like the ending.
Yeah.
Is like what happened?
It's so much.
It's like, so much, and it's like maybe it's not for me. You know.
I'm happy that it finished, and that's where I'm at too. Like where I'm like, like I'm glad that it finished and like it got to say what it wanted to say.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like where I'm at.
Yeah, I feel like they just maybe just hopefully no one gets mad from this, but I mean I also understand how Japan works with a lot of the anime in conjunction with toys.
Yes.
They have to sell toys. They got to sell toys. So I feel like Evangelion was a money thing. They had to keep it going.
It might have turned into that.
You know what I mean? Like the toys had to keep going to make money. They had to do promotional gear like eye drops. When you go to Japan, there's a bunch of eye drops.
That's why I was like, eye drops.
And you're just like, what?
The
story is so weird for 2.22, and you're like, what?
All right.
Like, there's merch for this?
We were actually talking about something similar to this. I don't know if you played Kingdom Hearts at all or anything like that.
I did play 2. I didn't play the rest of it.
It's probably for the best, honestly.
Godzilla's played all of them.
Whoa.
I played 1 and 2, but I feel like the story's completely done at this point, and they just announced 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like at this point, it's literally like, the guy's
money.
like, yo, I'm done. And Disney's just like, no, you're not.
No, you're not, because we can make some more.
So much more money. The fans are rabid for it. And it's.
I don't blame you. My friend is a huge, like 2 of my really close friends are huge Kingdom Hearts fans. And they're just like, give me all the merch. And that's what they want, And I think it's because like working in a field where you understand like, toys and anime and this whole universe go hand in hand for the business. It makes sense, because there wouldn't be Gundam without model kits.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right?
Yeah.
There would not.
Let's get into Gundam, by the way. Like, how'd you get into like Gundam so hardcore? Was it from Evangelion or was it like from like before that?
Actually, I think that we can all agree, like growing up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, I was not born in the 70s. I kind of wish I was. My music taste and my robot taste, and they're very 70s. Even like sometimes I wear bell bottoms because I feel like I'm stuck in that era.
Bell bottoms are back in.
Yeah.
I think
they're actually stylish. If you're doing that, you're actually stylish.
They look so good.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have been born in the 70s. I don't know why I was born in the 80s is cool, like WWF and stuff, but whatever. But I think that like when you're growing up in the 80s, you're just all around you is robots, Transformers, Go Lion, like Bubblegum Crisis, freaking Gunbuster, Pat Labor. It's like all this robot stuff, and you're just like, okay, this is my hero. Real robots are real robots, like they're their life. So it's hard for me to not be into robots or Gundam,
right.
So my first ever series was actually Zeta.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get into, no one introduced me to Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam. I had to actually look at that later. And I was like, this is really slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very slow series. And I was like, but when Origin came out, I was super stoked. I was like, Origin's amazing. Like I loved Origin. But there's a lot of timelines in Gundam. We can talk about that all day.
Complicated.
The first one you were talking about, the one
Zeta?
with Amuro.
Yeah.
0079.
Yeah. Mobile Suit. Yeah.
It was the very first one. I was like, of course I watched G Gundam as a kid, and I watched
G Gundam.
Yeah, we all like when it was on Toonami, I watched that. Of course.
So
but
good.
It's like my first series. I actually went through and I was like, I'm gonna start here and watch through all of them.
Yeah.
I started 79, and I remember feeling, I'm like, oh, this feels like a 70s TV show.
Yes.
Like, it's very weekly. Nothing happens. It's more of like a monster of the week type thing.
Yes.
Real slow, and I just remember like even the theme song is still like stuck in my head. Like I can imagine myself like eating cereal and just be like, "This is the best."
Yeah.
Oh, so you started with that one.
Yeah, I started there and then went to Zeta. I went in chronological order.
Oh, that's great.
When they were released.
Oh, when they were okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, like
And then
first
Double
one-
Zeta, and then Char's
Yeah.
Counterattack. And
exactly.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then War in the Pocket, I think, came after that.
War
and
in
then-
Pocket. Oh my god, so good.
I love that. I'm waiting for Gonzo to get there. I
Yeah.
love War in the Pocket.
Yeah, right now I'm
War
trying
in
to go
Pocket's
through
just
the
like,
franchise.
you know, there are monumental ones in a Gundam fans like burned in our memories, like F91, you know, Stardust Memory, you know, and it's like when Hathaway came out, we're like, oh, Hathaway. I think I watched the new Hathaway 3 times. And even though it wasn't my favorite, I love the animation and all the love they put into it. Thunderbolt, you know.
I didn't even get to Thunderbolt. Everyone keeps telling me to watch it. They're like, you'll love Thunderbolt. And I haven't even gotten to it.
Thunderbolt's just, you know, one of those, it's just like the music's really good if you like jazz, and it's just a beautiful, you know, beautifully done anime. So there's too many. But
Yeah.
Double Zeta was definitely different. But, you know, MS Team, you know,
Yeah.
that's a really good one too.
Everyone likes MST. That's normally what I hear.
Everyone likes that. I mean, there's like a ton that you can say, like a top 5 that everyone likes.
What is
know?
your top 5?
Me?
Yeah, put you on the spot.
I have to say, you know, it's because it's my first, and I think I've watched Zeta like 4 times.
Wow.
Because of how funny to me it is. Because it's actually really silly.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, this is so serious. I'm like, once you get past that, after the first watch it the first time, you see how silly it is with Camille and like all the slapping that goes on, and you know, the politics.
I'm watching Zeta right now, bro. And I was like, wait, what? Like, he just slapped someone because he's like, you don't say I have a girl's name. It's like, wait, what? Yeah.
I like it. I love Zeta. And well, I mean, yeah, just like the ones I just listed are some of my favorites. That's why I think I mentioned it. You know, isn't really a top 5, but the ones I mentioned, I really love G Gundam. Who doesn't like G Gundam?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be crazy if you don't enjoy it. Just to enjoy it. It's one of those series where you don't have to like sit and be always attentive. You know that there's going to be an epic fight. You know that it's going to be crazy, kind of racist in a way, like, you know, with the
just enjoy it like 90s. Right?
But we're all in it.
Yeah,
we're all
Mexico
invested in this
Mexico sombrero, right?
Poncho, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
sombrero. Are you
it was a little much.
Right.
I was like,
hey, at least Holland got like the windmills, right?
Hey, all I gotta say, and I don't like saying this, but my friends in Discord, they're Mexican, and I was like, do you find this? Because I made some people rewatch it. I was like, let's rewatch this now in Discord while we're at work. And they're like, because I work from home. And I was like, you have to watch it if you're with me, if you're bored. And we rewatched it in this day and age, and we're like, oh my God, that's so wrong. But it's so funny.
Yes.
And the music's really good. Like, you know, everything. Yeah. I mean, Gundam is really fun. I think that like, if you don't watch enough, you start thinking it's too deep when there's other series that you can watch that's not super deep, you know, that are not like war-based, like UC, you know, Universal Century. So, you know.
It is one of those things where it's like some of them, I think that's what turned me off initially. Because when I was a kid, I did like robot stuff too.
Yeah.
But it was more like Beast Wars or...
Beast Wars, yeah.
Yeah, I liked Beast Wars. I liked Zoids. But it's like...
Oh, Zoids!
Yeah, and the thing is with those series is that, especially Zoids, not Chaotic Century, just the standard Zoids, it was very simple to understand. Even with G Gundam, very simple. It's a tournament, they're fighting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But when I got into like real Gundam, I was so like confused. I was like, what is happening?
It makes sense that you know.
This faction is the Moon faction. They're fighting for the resources of the Mars faction. And then this other faction gets split off and splintered. And I was like, what?
It's just, you know, like it was, you know, Tomino's doing of trying to explain war and how it makes no sense, you know. It's a vicious cycle of ignorance, right? Zeon Federation, you know, it's like, he was explaining something in a very adult way for kids.
Yeah.
We're like, huh?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Hey, cool explosions, right? And then watching it now.
Those look cool, but what is going on?
You're right.
And then you have to piece everything together like a real, like politics. It is politics. You have to piece it together. And as a kid, you're like, what?
Yeah.
So you have to rewatch it sometimes and to understand it. So I've gotten to a point where I have to rewatch some series over and over again to kind of like get the gist of it for me, you know? And it's been fun though, rewatching all the series, because they're everywhere.
Yeah, it's easier now.
They're I mean, it would be really hard for you not to find Gundam somewhere.
Right.
It's everywhere. And it's insanely accessible, So
I just wish I feel like there's got to be a change in direction it's going soon. I don't know if I don't want them to take advice from someone like me, right? I don't market for Gundam. But I know they released a game.
Let's hear it though.
Yeah, no, it's like they released a game recently. That was MOBA-esque, but it was like Overwatch and play like that.
Yeah.
It's a beta, so it didn't actually come out yet. It was just they released a little beta, and you could play it for like a day or so.
Did you play it?
In there. I didn't play it. I got invited. Like a couple friends went to play it, but I was busy doing other things. But I remember watching YouTube videos and other people playing it. And the very first thing I saw, which was like, I was like, oh yeah, Barbados, I want to play that. I'd play this character or whatever. But the game looks so bland because the colors are so like dark. Everything they do is like, here's the thing. Overwatch and League of Legends are both doing very well. Overwatch was doing very well. Both of those are very colored and like very vibrant, right? So people just watching like, oh, this is amazing looking, and they play it. This Gundam game looked very, very kind of dingy. It was like it was just a bunch of grays and whites and a couple lasers. I was like, I feel like if they went a little bit more of a cell shaded or
No, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, make it a little bit more like.
But I mean, the thing is, a lot of Gundam games in general are. I mean, it's hard for me to say this, but our expectations of Gundam games throughout the years, it's hard to pinpoint what we want in a Gundam game because there's Muso, right? There's a Gundam fighting game from back then,
I love that.
And there's like now an FPS game, and there was a Battle Operation. It's just like, where is, because when you think of Souls games, they go down a line, right? Of similarities, but for Gundam,
they're also different.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it really is hard for us to pinpoint. Like, I understand the muted tones because, like, from their perspective in Japan, they want it to be more realistic to an older time, maybe. But then us, we're so used to FPS being really bright, like Overwatch, Valorant, more vibrant. So there's a lot of variation, and I think that's really hard for a game developer to pinpoint because they're like, what direction should we go? Should we go like the old school route of like how Gundams look, or do we go new? So, I don't think there's any way that we can, like for Gundam games, it's really hard for me to even enjoy, like a lot of times because I'm just like, I don't know where they're going with each game. There's too much.
There's no expectations really to have, I guess, before it comes out.
But I think that, I totally understand where you're coming from with the Gundam game stuff because I've played like most of them and
how'd you like the versus?
So,
did you like that versus battle? That
was fun.
Those two I enjoyed a lot. The second one and the first one.
The Gundam versus was really fun. The Gundam versus, it's more like tactical, like in a way that you're thinking about every move. It's very, a lot of fight game players play it because it's analytical. So, but if you just like shooting games, and you can play Gundam Evolution, it really depends. So if you like Muso games, and you play those Muso games with the, 5 million Zakus that you can just throw around or whatever. So,
and those are essentially Dynasty Warrior games.
Pretty much.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like I don't know. We can go on and on about like all these Gundam games. But
I mean, there's so
have
much.
You guys played the? Is it what was it? The fighting game from the 90s?
Yes. The one on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved that game when I was a kid.
Yeah, the Big Zam. I was like, what the hell was that?
I was like, why is this in the game?
Why is he like the size of them? He should be like towering, right? But they want to put them in there.
What did you play on that game? Do you remember?
I liked Zam because it was just ridiculous.
Oh, podcast's over. Yo, she played Zam. Yo,
just when we thought she was cool. Zam. I think he's just so silly looking. Just like that. I've actually wanted to make the costume someday, but I don't think I'll be able to do it. I'm
looking it up right now.
Like do an SD model like Zam. Just have like 2 stick legs out and like put my arms like this and have a fan running.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
See how degenerate she was?
Yeah, I mean, this
I'm
is a
pretty
funny looking
DJ.
thing. I like it.
I'm not denying that. Come on, look.
Hey,
Like, yeah, that's
leaning in.
pretty much. Yeah, that is my life. But yeah, I feel like in a lot of ways it really depends on, like, you know, with Gundam in general, like where they're taking Gundam. It's very interesting, you know, especially working with a lot of them, you know, through just various projects. You kind of hear them talk about Gundam in a way that I generally wouldn't understand, but it's more business.
Oh.
So they look at, so a lot of these people who are running it, they're getting told by their higher ups, no, that won't work. And these people maybe don't even know anything about Gundam. So it's kind of like crazy,
right?
You know? It's a lot of politics, you know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
it's such a legacy that you have to like work with.
Yeah. And it's like, I could understand why they made it muted, because maybe the IP, you know, the stakeholders
orders
are
from
like,
above,
no, you
like you have to keep
make it
like
vibrant,
that.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of times you had to fight back and forth. So
I feel the gamers
you really can't do too much. I mean, if we can do a fan style, I think it would be very good.
That'd be dope, but if he only...
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Right.
You know, unless someone gets really rich and then they have a gaming, you know, company and they can.
Sounds like that's what you gotta do, Vampy. That's all you.
No, I'd much rather be a fan a lot of times than work in these companies.
Right.
Like, as in
the stress of
I
like
work
having
for
to deal.
the company, but like I don't want to. Maybe if I wanted to make a kit, but I'm not an engineer. I'm not a mechanical engineer, you know?
Right.
So, but, you know. Do you guys build model kits, by the way?
I actually have 2 in the house right now.
Oh, nice.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, I definitely wanted to. I see like how you got started in that, and then like to what level. I mean, like you got some cool ones behind you right now.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, she's got a ton.
Yeah. It's become a, you know, I think everyone talks about this, like video games, you know, you have that backlog, right?
Yes.
I have that problem with gunpla. Like, I had to clean my room. This was not like this before. It was stacked, and I moved a lot because I was always living in cramped areas.
Mm-hmm.
So then I decided, okay, I'm going to spend more time working and getting a bigger place for myself so I can have room, which is so backwards, have room for my model kits. So I ended up breaking down my boxes and took everything out, and they were in pieces everywhere. I was so sad for last week. And I was like, damn. So I put everything in bags. So I had to rebuild all the kits to display.
That's rough.
You did that in a week?
It sucks moving, but I mean, I don't want to complain. I'm really happy still I have the space. So I went to IKEA, I got more detofs, had to build those. And then, but I've been building for about like, I would say almost 20 years now. Long time.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I think that's the only thing I actually collect are model kits. Everything else, I try not to because it's expensive.
Yeah, there's no room also.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember Toonami first doing the like showing off the Gundam model kits?
Yes.
Like some kid being like, it'd be like Diashiki, 8 hours, 14 days. Or something. Do you remember that?
Dude, the commercials
were very intense.
Yeah, they're like they had the dad come in, you know, hey kids. And you're like, what? Like at KB Toy Stores, they used to have like Gundam model kits on sale because it couldn't sell in America.
That. I would have gotten to that if I had known.
Bro, those commercials terrify me because the way they made it sound, they were like, this is going to be a life investment.
It pretty much made you feel like it was a job. It kind of is a job, like in a sense where it's a lot of work. Like I totally get it.
That's why I'm scared about even like diving into model kits. Like I admire it. I'm like really happy and proud of the people who do it, but I'm like, whew, I don't think I have the dexterity.
You gotta have boundaries for yourself with fandom, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like, I don't know if you guys agree with this though, but you can't just buy everything.
Everything. You can't. Like, there's not enough time.
Like, you gotta pick and choose your battles sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Right? Like,
some people are like, you just gotta try this. You just gotta try this. Like, I'm like, yo, chill. Like, I don't
but you're smart, see? Like, you give yourself boundaries. Like, I remember when I first started collecting, I was like, oh, Street Fighter this.
Whew.
Freaking, Gantz this. Gantz toys this. This hot toy this. And I'm like, man, like when I moved into my place, I was like, everything looks crazy. So, and it's okay to have everything that you love everywhere, but I started thinking, how can I save money? How can I also figure out a way I can do a tax write-off? Like, you know, in this fandom, make it a job, you know, like, because it's expensive. So, you know, just stick to Gundam, right? Like, that was my most simple plan. Like, have it be a job if I can, you know, and have it my hobby pay for itself. But that's actually could be toxic if your job is
like
your life.
Backfires,
you know, and now and you had to start balancing that, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I the only thing I really do is build model kits now, and buy Gundam stuff. So
some of those are just models, right? Some of them are pre-made in the background.
Yeah, like some of them you can buy, like, you know, you don't have to build them. There's a lot of those. I personally like to build because it's just a pastime for me, something I do while watching anime or movies. I always like have a kit. So while I'm like watching like a show in Discord, I'll be sanding, you know? It's kind of like I always like to keep busy. Maybe it's like a problem I have, but
that's
I can't
cool.
stay still.
No, that's a craftsmanship type of deal.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that.
That was my issue. Like, I didn't understand. Like, I've built 2 Gundams, and one of them was like, it was Amuro's Gundam, like original Gundam. That was really easy. It was like level 1 stuff.
No, but that looks great. I mean, that one's a good one.
Yeah, I was like 12. It was like the first one I ever got. I got that with like a Metabot. Yeah, and the Metabot was even easier than that.
Metabot.
It was like stick his leg to his torso.
Hey, dude,
and I was like,
Zoids are cool.
Yeah, right.
Zoids are cool. I never got into Zoids because no one told me about Zoids.
Dude, if you look up Zoids right now,
they're crazy.
Bro, Shadow Fox, I'm probably gonna go buy that after this podcast. Now that she brought it up again, they look so sick.
They're so sick. Like, I think Zoids, okay, sorry Bandai, but Zoids, pretty next level. Like, I know I will get in trouble about this, but like, I love Bandai Gunpla. I freaking love it.
Absolutely.
But I also do enjoy Zoid kits. I don't know anything about the anime, unfortunately. It was not introduced to me.
Yeah. Like, it's hard to find it right now.
A thing with my friends or family, and I got into it afterwards, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, Zoids is the shit. Like, why didn't I know anything about Zoids? And the model kits move. Like, a lot of them have a motor in them. So, like, the old ones. And I'm like, man,
they look amazing.
Missed that boat. Yeah.
They look really, really, like, if you get just even the models of Zoids, like, they animate, like, they always look like they're in some dynamic pose, and they just look so sick. Like, they're so shined out.
They look so cool. Like, I kind of glad I missed that boat too, because I was like, I would not, you know, have a roof over my head.
Yeah.
Pick the right fandom.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, fandom is just like, you don't have to, you know who I really envy, and it sounds really weird, but I really envy the ones that are just fans and they don't need anything, you know, and they don't need to buy anything. And I'm just like, can I be that? But I can't.
Nah.
Because like, I like to be surrounded by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I personally like being deep in it. Like, I think it's pretty cool. I have weird
envious like things against stuff that I cannot control.
Yeah.
Like, I envy people that don't need to buy the thing, you know? So I think that's cool. Like, I'm trying to train my brain to be more simple as an adult. I know it's like, it's this eternal battle inside, like being a collector
with your fandom.
Yeah, being
that's
picky.
Funny.
It's strange. It's like I kind of find it like I do what you do, but on a smaller scale. Like you were talking about how you kind of like picked a franchise, and you're like, I'm sticking to this. For me, it's like I pick characters and then I buy their merch. So for my hero, like
that's smart.
Yeah, for instance, like if I'm doing my hero, for instance, like I have stuff back there, or maybe Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm probably not going to get all the characters, but what I will do is I got the Yusuke thing back there because he's my favorite character.
Oh, of course. Yusuke's like amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do it. For Marvel,
I see.
Yeah, I stick it to small. Like, I like this character. Here's who I'm getting the statue of. And that'll be good enough for me.
Which makes sense, though, because a lot of I think that, like, for me, I was going backwards and learning about super robots and then the real robots. And a lot of times when I talk to my friends who are older, they're like, oh, you guys and your real robots. And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, you and your pilots and your ego. And I was like, whoa, hold on. But then, because you guys had pilots too in Mazinger, but they were more about the super robots, the look, and it's just like it's not as political and stuff like that. So I don't know. We have these like nerd battles between each other, like friendly. Yeah, but we came from a different generation. They're born in the 70s. I'm like, I don't understand you. We're not the same.
People who didn't know that, it's like super robots and real robots. Real robots essentially are just like it's Gundam century, universal century type.
Yeah, you see. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's more realistic. And then super robots are more like what you liked with what's that anime called with the spiral energy?
Gundam, Gurren Lagann.
That would be a super robot.
Oh, Gurren Lagann's freaking crazy. Though.
Yeah, it's just more just like, there's a pilot, but it's more about just being ridiculous and,
Yeah, Gurren Lagann.
Transform and all sorts of crazy shit.
Like I love all kinds of,
mecha, all that.
Mecha anime. There's too many. There's
You're
too many
teaching
good
me
ones.
stuff. I have no clue about like much of this. Like, it's really cool hearing you guys like being able to converse about it. Like, oh, I know this. Oh my, I love that. That's fandom. Like, and just sort of like getting deeper into it.
Too much into one series because we can keep on analyzing that series. So it would probably be best because we have a lot we can go over with a lot of things.
I know every talk about FLCL with anybody. I would love to. Let's just take this whole podcast back a couple hours.
Right.
Let's talk about some FLCL.
That would be so. No, I mean, I feel like I need to rewatch that too.
Same.
Like
only 6 episodes, but yeah, I mean, there's so much that happens in these 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, there is a lot. I mean. Also, what other anime do you guys like to watch? Like recent, besides One Piece. I mean, the latest episode.
You heard him just now. He really wasn't about to go off.
The thing is, if we talk about One Piece,
we're gonna be stuck in One Piece.
Will be spoiler city.
I'm gonna have a One Piece specific episode soon, and I'll bring you in, and we're just gonna do spoilers. And if you haven't watched it,
I think that would be really fun.
I got you. We're gonna do that.
Yeah,
soon.
I think that would be really fun. I think. Because I feel like Gundam is easy. You don't have to worry too much about like Gundam because it's not as long. You can finish a lot of the series in like a few hours, in a weekend if you wanted to binge it. But if you're talking about One Piece, it's kind of is investment.
But it's worth it.
It is worth it. It's investment though.
Yeah, it's true though. It's absolutely true.
Yeah. Like,
are you watching anything?
Any of you guys cosplay though?
I think we both cosplay.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Although, like, not to your level for sure, but at the same time, we have fun with it.
Cosplay's cosplay.
True. Although, at the same time, like, like Josh did like a Ace cosplay.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
did I see it?
I don't think so. Recently, he also did a Mista from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Fun.
Yeah, that was dope.
Oh,
yes.
JoJo.
Dude, I had to get the whole outfit tailored. This Asian lady was just looking at me like, "What is he wearing?" Like, I brought her this.
Hot in the streets.
I had to bring her the sweater. You know how he has the midriff? I was like, "Yo, make this smaller."
And she's like, "Why?"
Yeah, she was like,
"Where are you going?"
I gave her
We're judging you, probably.
No, she was such a nice lady. She worked out of her house, and we became friends. But it's like at one point, I brought her I was like, I have one more thing for you to do. She's like, oh yeah, no problem. And I go back to my car and I grab out the tiger orange pants. I was like, yo, can you make these? Can you make these work?
Those are the best tailors because they're doing it in their house and they have everything. If they're in the store, it gets so crazy. I always go if I have a tailor that's working with me. And I don't do it myself. I always go to the people that are working at the homes because they're pretty set with their setups and they're fast because they're working from home and they don't have like a zillion people coming into their store. So that's great. So, and of course she didn't judge you. So that's good. I'm sure she sees a lot of crazy stuff all the time.
Probably.
I feel like I could have been the avenue too because I used to just sew and I still sew. But I don't know, like, I feel like in a lot of ways, life is too short. I don't want to say this. Everyone says this, but life is too short just to experience one kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes.
Right? You know, like a lot of times people are like, oh, Linda, like, why don't you do cosplay anymore? I'm like, I do cosplay, but it's not the only thing I like. And I think that is so important to speak about, what other things that are possible for you as a content creator, in general. I feel like a lot of people feel pigeonholed into doing one thing because it gets a lot of traction. Mm-hmm. And I can understand, like, it's not easy to build outside of that. From like, okay, from being a character, like Vampy or whatever you want to do, or being a Gundam fan online or a One Piece fan. But when you diversify and you just find different communities in each thing that you're very passionate about, you'll never feel like you're, I guess, alone, and unheard, because it takes a lot to be part of a community. And a lot of times people don't understand that. They think it's automatic. Make one tweet and it should go off. That's not how it works. If you love it and you want to be part of the community, be in the community. Like, play games with them, if you want to. And like, when I played Monster Hunter initially, like, I had to search for the people to play with. I had to search for the guides or the YouTubers that inspired me to play better, and talk to them. So it's equal effort, a lot of times when you're a fan, like, and you want to, maybe this is just how I feel, like, being a content creator online and, being a fan, and you want to do something with it, you got to also give back. So a lot of times, like, people are like, oh, why are you in so many communities? I'm like, because it just works. Because you learn
You're genuinely
more.
passionate about these communities. Like,
you want to meet people just like you.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Like, a lot of us are home. We can't go to a lot of shows anymore. The easiest way we can do this is go join Discords, find them on Twitter, search for them. So it's not like easy.
Right.
But being a part of a community is probably the most precious things that you can ever have, like, I think, as a fan, because I learned so much from just expressing my fandom for Gundam. Like, there's a lot of people that are like factual. They're like, did you know this person does this? I'm not that type.
Right.
I'll forget like names immediately after I watch something.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a friend that are like textbooks,
Mm-hmm.
So it's really fun to hang out with those people, because I'm just like, oh yeah, or this mechanical engineer was this person, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. So,
wow, tell me more about that part, right?
Yeah, tell me more about that. Where'd you learn that?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's awesome.
It's important to make friends in the community, I think.
Yeah. Like, definitely, like the community, I think, like I really want the community to get to that next level of being able to bring in more people and to be more accepting for more people, and to like be less toxic if possible, so that way, like, when people on the outside are seeing this, they're able to get into it, they're not scared off by it.
It's hard, like,
mm-hmm.
I feel like we always get, I don't know if you guys talk about this during the podcast, I'm sure you have, but we see it every day on social media, the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
You either choose to be part of, jump in the conversation, or do you look past it? And it's hard to look past a growing number of people who are super negative and feed off the same energy, but you like those people and you want to get to know them, but they're just like spouting hate all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you counter that? And that is like my whole goal sometimes with, I guess, joining communities, is how do I counter this personality trait? And I know that is something that I don't need to do, but as a person, I feel like I'm a problem solver when it comes to humans. Maybe I should have been a like therapist or something or whatever, but I just generally like to understand people and where they come from, and when I hear them out, it's generally more like they're thinking only for themselves in the fandom, and they're not thinking the broader picture of growing. Because the more that people know about your franchise, the more things that you get.
Absolutely.
Right.
Exactly. You want more people to be able to join this.
Yes,
that way
because you get more stuff for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more you grow a community like Gundam or One Piece or whatever you're into, the more things that they start noticing, the franchisees, the IP holders, they see, oh, look, in America, they're talking about us. They like G Gundam. Maybe we should add this in a game.
Right.
Like, and it really takes a lot for them to see it and to be positive. But if there's a constant negativity in the comments, in everything they say, they're not going to invest anything to a community that's not thankful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just plain and simple with a company. So
I'm glad you said that, because we've never said that out loud, but like I think it is important to say that. Like I don't think a lot of people understand the power that their words have. Like within.
I'm not saying
community.
lie.
Yeah,
like, you know,
sure.
I don't want people to lie.
If it's not good, then it's not good. But
yeah, exactly. Like you don't like the new FPS game because it's like muted. I understand. Like it is muted.
That's
like,
a fair. Yeah, I feel like that's a fair critique versus
it's
people
a fair critique, and
toxic.
they should. Yeah. And if you say that you don't like it, they might fix it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it's just a test game. It's not even a beta. It's a test. So they'll listen. It's just
I say that not because I hate them. It's like I say that because I really want Gundam to do well.
You want things to be better. That's why you say something. Yeah. But I feel like when it's like a different kind of negativity, when people say, "Oh, this just sucks."
Yeah, just toxic.
Oh, that sucks. Like I understand to you it sucks, but how can we make it better though?
Yeah.
How can we grow the community in a way that they'll invest more time and money in meetings that actually mean something in Japan to maybe make a game that we will like, you know, or maybe we can pitch something to them. But we have to understand like how they work out there in Japan. They are so different from how we are.
Yeah.
You know, everything has to go through another approval process. There's like 7 million approvals.
Jeez.
So understanding that, you have to be like, okay, you can't talk like that.
Yes.
You got to do it like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You got to say it like this. So you got to like up your game in propositioning.
I think it would be great if we were able to, or like maybe not us, but like if the fandoms, especially like the ones anime, video games, like they were to understand like how the Japanese licensing culture is, and like how like because I don't think a lot of people know about that. That should be an episode,
and it's not their fault they don't know.
It's
because
hard.
As fans we're like, oh, they could have been done better, man. Like you could have just put some G Gundam in there and it was sell hella units.
If only they could have just
like like a Tortilla Gundam model kit. Like where's that? Like God Gundam, where okay, that's cool, but where's this other stuff? But are we conversing as fans, or are we conversing in a way that we're propositioning or pitching an idea that could be very viable money-wise to them?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If we actually, understanding their culture and how they work is a pivotal thing on getting what we want in America.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I feel like my whole journey through, I guess, being a fan of Gundam to working with the companies is because I really wanted to understand how we can make a change in this scene where we can actually get what we want. We want a 1-on-1 scale Gundam here someday.
That'd be tight. One day. Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, right. I would totally love a giant Gundam.
We can have it in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense.
It makes all the sense.
Anaheim Electric, it's like Anaheim's right here in Cali.
Can we get a Maxter Gundam in America? New York
and like somewhere,
And then when the kaiju come out, we just man it for real, and we got our Pacific Rim going. Yeah,
exactly. I feel like it's just we have to understand how they work too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's a process in which we have to also, if we want things to happen, we have to see eye to eye in communication.
Yeah.
And their communication in Japan is so different. From ours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So different.
I need to bring some people who are in the industry to come in to see if they can explain that, because I don't think like it's ever been like stated out loud, and I didn't know about this until I started working in the industry, and there's so much I still don't know about it. So
right.
Yeah, I would love to.
I mean, I have meetings like every week with companies, and I have a translator, and every week I'm sitting in and I'm like, man, I don't think anyone knows like how crazy it is when it comes to this stuff and propositioning things or ideas, because they think of everything as a money thing because it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they only care about it. They want fans to speak on this, but they also don't want the hate. Because it's just like talking to anyone. You won't get anywhere if you're just blinded by only your thoughts,
right.
Or negativity. They want to hear something that's positive, like you can do this, and how you can do this is like I'll tell you how.
Yes.
Here's the steps, and they will understand you. But when you're just like, I don't like that, that sucks, you kind of like don't leave it open-ended and it just ends there.
Yeah, no way to fix
So
the
in a lot of
problem.
ways, when I speak, I try to leave it open-ended in a way that there causes a conversation. It causes people to think. It causes maybe companies to want to come to America and do business. Because we don't, I mean, although it seems like we have a lot here now, we still don't have a lot of Gundam. We have model kits now, but they're getting all sold out. But, you know, I do want more things that they have. They have way more games than we do. They have way more merch. They have cafes. We don't have any of that, you know? So it would be nice. Yeah.
We definitely need you. Like, I'm happy that you're like into industry, Vampy, and yeah, we need to like be able to get more of these things, you know, working with you. I believe it.
Yeah, I feel like that's where like I'm headed in my work. Because I really want to make a difference. I think everyone does. And when it comes to a point of their life where like they try to find meaning, I feel like my meaning in life is to create ways to educate and make people feel welcome in shared spaces like communities. I think that, you know, maybe project management would be probably my next step. Because I really like connecting people and meeting people who are enthusiastic and passionate. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Didn't you guys learn a lot of different things during the pandemic that you never thought about before?
Skills that we never knew that we had, right?
Yeah. It made me think a lot about like what I really want to do.
Yeah.
And not just going through the motions, because I felt like a lot of times when shows were going on every month, I would just go through the motions of, okay, I'm going to that show, go that show. It didn't give me enough time to actually think.
I started feeling the same way too, like where I was like, I really want to go to another show, but then you really miss it. And also, I guess, like, try not to take things for granted, especially like seeing like how dire the world is in right now, like how tenuous things are, like, I guess, like with you know, everything just stopped, right? Like it wasn't what we thought 2020 was going to be like.
Well, being on the internet is already crazy like in itself.
Yeah.
I have too many opinions about that, but I'm in Discord all day talking about it, because I feel like a lot of times we forget about, we can live simply and still be happy with not ingesting so much information that might not be very good for our mental state. So I try to center myself. Like after this, I'm probably going to read a book and then focus on like something, maybe writing. You know, I try to incorporate things that will make me feel more centered, that has nothing to do with electricity or internet or whatever. If I am playing a game, I'll just focus on that game and then go to sleep.
Okay.
Like Elden Ring or whatever.
Yeah.
Elden Ring is freaking crazy.
That's gotta be good for your mental health.
Elden Ring is, dude, you can get lost. Like you could spend 5 hours and you just open up another side of the map and you're like, what is this?
Yeah, the map is I can't say too big. I'm so happy it's as big as it is, but it's
dude,
nuts.
It's nuts because you just warp into a new area and you're like, why are these castles different from the other castles you saw in the other? How did they make it so big? Like how?
Oh man!
But it's amazing.
I want to say, going to your last point, right before we skip over to Elden Ring, because I want to talk about Elden Ring. Yeah, like the internet thing, just it being a problem in people's lives. I think there was a pretty good documentation on that actually being very true. Specifically social media, because when you go on social media, what you're seeing from other people is always like the best of them. You're seeing like the promotion they got or how much money they're spending at whatever club they're at or whatever. And
club.
Yeah, people still go to those. So
okay, yeah, I was like, I remember those.
Yeah. So my thing is like, you're always seeing like how well everyone is doing because that's what people put up. And I remember the study being, or essentially saying that people's mental health will kind of take a hit because they're seeing everyone else do so well that they compare their lives to it, their real lives, to everyone else's boosted life.
I understand. Yeah.
And they literally, it contributes to like a depressive mood, and different things like that, which is interesting.
I mean, we can talk about this because I think it's so important to talk about this because like, I love that you brought that up because I started noticing, well, me as a person, maybe just talking, I can only talk for myself. But when I'm online, I started doing this thing where I'll post and run away. And a lot of people are like, are you ignoring me? And I said, wow, having that effect mentally every day, just because you walk away from your phone does not mean that you're ignoring someone. It means that you're taking time to walk away from your phone. And it's like, it's almost groomed into society where you're like, you have to respond. And those pressures and those little things add up every day where you feel anxious to even open up your email sometimes. And I've been very lucky in a way where I stopped myself from getting to that point. But then I remember being overwhelmed just by feeling like I have to reply. But someone actually brought up something very important to me. They're like, what is your phone for? And of course I would say, oh, because for me. Like, they're like, no, it's not. The phone is what people think is for them. So you have to also keep in mind to remind them that your phone is yours and you do what you want with it. And I was like, that's kind of like harsh, but it's true. Because it's like a lot of times where people feel like your social media is for them. And it could be, it could be for them for certain things like questions or whatever, but being glued to social media is also a crucial part of work. So it's like for a lot of people nowadays, even, so it's like, how can you create boundaries for yourself? And what I've done is just let go of the phone, put the charger far away from me. So I've been trying to like put my charger super far. So I'll have my ringer on and I'll put my charger in another room. So I have to physically be far away from my phone. So that's one way
to check it.
Yeah. Like if I hear it, then I'll pick it up. But there comes a time, like, for example, after the podcast, I'm going to put my, charge my phone far away in another room and read in another room. You know what I mean? And if you don't have another room, set those boundaries, right? Like, I've been hearing a lot of boundary talk lately, and it's one thing that stuck with me for a few months now, and it's helped me a lot mentally. Because, I mean, how do you guys deal with that? Like, social media, do you feel pressure? Do you feel like,
go first,
I want to hear from you guys.
Like, I mean, it's a great question because, I mean, both of us work in social media, like trying to make sure that if there is a problem that we are able to be, we're able to be on tap for it, right? But for me, I love do not disturb mode. Like, that's been like so crucial, like where, just turn on do not disturb mode, and then at least the phone's not like turning on and off as much. Like where, it's not even like letting me know that like someone had messaged me. And I love that. And I do want to like have like a better balance of it, like, or I'm just not always on it. And I love what you said about like how the phone isn't really for, like, it's making me think about my own habits with it. Like, where I'm like, yeah, I'm really beholden to like a lot of people and like always trying to like talk to people, especially as soon as they message. Sometimes I'm like, oh, is it too fast? That's not a bad
trait. I think that's a good trait.
Yeah.
But it is almost controlling.
Yeah, it is.
In a sense.
Although at the same time, I sort of don't mind. Like, at least I don't feel.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that's okay. Yeah.
And then also, like, another thing I personally like to do is like I try to make sure like what I look at social media is like benefiting me. Like it is like. Yeah, I try to curate like what I do. Like, whereas like if I don't like it, I mute it and I just try to talk with people I like talking to.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good for your mental, I think.
Yeah, and then also I try to learn. I try to have like pages that I learn from. Like force myself to read the article. Like rather than
that's good.
Just trying to do the headline. So yeah,
like I love that. Like, so I know that I heard what you had to say, Josh, but like, is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Like,
so social media for me is so for me personally, it helps. I feel to an extent, maybe a little bit more than others. And I know that sounds weird. Social media helps.
I think it's supposed to help, honestly. Like, I don't think it's designed.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be like detrimental, like as it is, but I think it is supposed to be good.
Right. I feel like almost everyone's settled on the idea that it's harmful, and I get that. I 100% agree to also for the most part. for me, it's like I'm very extroverted. Talking to people doesn't generally, it doesn't really zap my energy. Like you guys could be in my house right now and talk in my room while I sleep, and I'd be like okay with it.
Wow.
Like that's how extrovert I am. Like my battery never really bottoms out. It gets lower.
I envy you. I envy you because my brother's like that, and I'm super introverted. So it's like my battery runs out really fast, but I have a lot of energy when it comes to, I don't even know if the word, but when I talk to people that are very similar to me, I have a lot of energy.
Yes.
But when it's like, maybe I'm just too nerdy. I don't know. But is there such thing as too nerdy? But like I have too much energy. I have like so much energy for people that have the same likes that I do. But when it comes to maybe just
NPCs,
small talk, I don't have a lot of that. I'm just like, I'd rather just be mute. You know what I mean?
You want to be
like,
invested.
I don't understand. But I do find things very interesting though. Like if someone's really into collecting stamps, I'm like, oh, how did you get into that? You know, like that's interesting.
Absolutely. And that was my thing.
I do have like a social battery though.
I hear that.
I understand that. And my thing was like, when it comes to social media, it makes me feel connected. So for me,
okay.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's there. So I have a group chat that I've ran with Godzilla. Well, Godzilla's been in my group chat for how many years? I don't know.
Beginning? Years? I mean, I remember like, I mean, we've known each other for 7-8 years now, right? Yeah, and since the beginning.
I had a group chat back in high school. And it was like me and like it's like Facebook, me and like 4 guys I had like that are like, these are my best friends. No one replaces them. And then I had a couple, like I remember some girls got added in there because I was younger, and I was like, oh, it'll be okay. But it just caused a lot of problems. So I restarted the whole group chat. And this is nothing with women. It was just like guys act different when women are around sometimes.
Well, women too. I mean, come on.
It just gets weird. I'm not trying to shame anyone. But it turned into one of those. I was like, you know what? Let me just like wipe this. I wiped out almost everyone. Got my 4 original guys. Started over. Put Godzilla in there and like 2 other people. And I've kept it there for it's been 15 years now, almost. I think 16.
That's crazy. 14? A group chat? Like, are you guys using AOL? Like, what are you?
I mean,
it's Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
It's like if we go back, I could roll through that thing for eons. Like there's things from like 2016, 15, 14.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I don't think I have a chat like that. Like I still talk to my friends from 20 years ago, but we text each other. And I'm still calling. Like I still call my friends.
Wow.
And they pick up and they're like, you call? You're the last person that does this. I'm like, funny. Oh.
Yo, don't even, Vampy, I do the same thing. I call it, and every time I call Godzilla, he's like, hello? And I'm like, bro, I thought we were friends.
I'm sorry. Like it's just like whenever someone calls me, it's just sort of like, I was like, what's the problem?
Hurt?
Like, I was like, is there something like, it's like not like really against you. Although, like, you're better. Like, when some people call me,
is your leg broken?
Honestly,
and you're like, no, I just want to say hi.
I feel terrible. I feel terrible. I'm driving or something. I'm having a great day. I'm like, let me call my boy Godzilla. And he's like, what the fuck do you want, man? Why are you calling?
Is your phone like, hello?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's wrong? Oh my gosh.
Are you okay?
For me, I'm in emergency mode when someone calls me. I'm like,
no, but that's true because like I'll be calling my friend, and initially, like we're cosplay friends, but he would pick up his phone and he's like, what do you need? And I'm like, what do you mean what I need? I miss you, man. And he's like, I'm the type of person on the phone that just like will have my AirPod in and I'll just like vacuum or do whatever and still be on there and not talking. And they're like, this is weird. Like, do you have anything else to say? I'm like, no, you're there. So what's up, man?
That's it works for me that way though. Like I
like that you think the internet is revitalizing you. You know what I mean?
Especially with this whole pandemic that just happened, because if it wasn't for Discord, I actually have a Discord too, where like I have
Discord's
a couple of my guys.
Man.
Yeah, like literally I just sit in that chat and I'll just stream to the chat and I'll be in there by myself, and then all of a sudden people just start seeing it and they start popping in and like
I have to agree with that. Discord is a lifesaver. I love Discord.
We would have actually been alone otherwise. During the pandemic, we would have actually been alone. That would have sucked. Discord makes you feel like
you know what? Okay, if you say it like that, I freaking love being online. Like I'm just saying, if it's curated to what I like and people that I understand are cool, I'm down with being online all day.
Yes.
But if it's like social media where it's all crazy all the time, I will see you later.
Yes.
I have fallen into that trap too with social media because you've talked about this, or you said something very similar to this. But it's like I get in arguments with people sometimes, right?
Well, I mean, that's not a bad thing, but you have an opinion. That's not bad.
Right.
But are you constantly like that? That's a thing.
I'm not.
Like, I think Josh is really good though. Yeah, Josh, you're really good about it because like inside like the messenger group, you're like, or like with like the main group of people, that's where we'll say like our real opinions, and then we're able to like chop it up and be like, should we really?
No,
put
but
this
I
out
like
there
people
like that
though. My friends seem negative, like some of them. They're not though. They're just very, very passionate about how they feel about something.
Yeah. Right.
And it's funny because I have like two friends, right? They sound negative as hell and they sound like old men, like about robots. And I'm like, because they're the super robot generation. And they're just like always arguing how Universal Century is the best one. Nah. And I'm just like, I'm a big Iron Blooded Orphans fan. And they're just like, right? And like you guys, and they're just like, oh, that's not really. I'm like, I don't need to hear it because you're just angry. And I understand why. I love you still.
You know who they are.
You know, that's when friendships come in the way and you're like, you accept it. Yes. You know what I mean?
You know who they are.
They're not bad people. They have opinions. That's it.
That's why I look at people on the internet. I think that's what keeps my mental health just like above par because I constantly look at people and me and guys have talked about this because we're on a social media team. So it's like I look at certain people saying things that they don't understand anything about. And this isn't like opinion. This is like, they'll talk about the industry and you realize like, oh, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And I could either be really mad or I could be like, this is just a person who doesn't understand what they're talking about.
Exactly.
It's like a child. And I treat them like a child. I try to be respectful.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hey, John.
This is
man.
Listen. We're getting very, okay. This is, okay. If we're going to admit things, I am the same way. You can't get mad at a baby. That's one of my favorite things to say to my friends.
I like that.
You can't get mad at a baby. Do you get mad at a baby for doing the things they do? You can't get mad at them. So you can't get mad at people that don't know. Because they really don't know. It's kind of like when people say they hate One Piece. I'm like, have you watched any of it?
Right.
Have you read any of it? You probably only watched 10.
Right. You only have like the 4 kids in your head, right?
Yeah. So like, that's why I don't pay any attention to those people anymore. You're right, though. That's great that you brought up, Josh, because going online, it's been very easy to swipe and just ignore it.
Yep.
Because they don't understand. You know what I mean?
They don't get it, and it's okay. It's just like
sort of pity them in a sense. I realize a lot of times
when I talk really politely to them, Daz was talking to me about this earlier.
Yeah, literally.
It ends up working. Some people get confused because they're like, "Why are you on the internet?" Like people don't come on here and talk like this.
Right.
But I'm just like, I'm not trying to fight you, man.
They're like, why are you nice for?
You're right.
Yeah, like I didn't want to come on here and fight. Like that's not what I want. I didn't want to ruin my day.
So it's kind of like what I brought up about being a Gundam fan, and then you want to get to know why they think that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times I'm like, y'all are real angry about something so simple because you're not heard and you want attention. Because I saw a fight break out yesterday from a Gundam fan.
Gundam fans can fight?
Yo,
it's crazy. Yeah, talk about it.
It's crazy. And I'm just like, do you want attention? Because it seems like you're crying and no one's listening to you. And then when they finally got attention, they were nice. And I was like, okay, we got to the root of things, everyone. It's a baby. So like, you know what I mean?
And in people's heads, they always imagine it's the most annoying person on the other side. Like they imagine the most annoying looking dude with like a bowl cut who like lives at his mom's house still. Like, yo, this guy's so stupid.
The bowl cut.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my mom gave my brother that. Yeah, like a bowl cut. That's like the stereotypical haircut for like an Asian kid, though.
When they're younger,
you know, like,
normally, I think
even an Asian girl, like with the,
anime
the bangs. The Asian guys nowadays are getting fades. They've changed it up.
The Asian guys now they have like.
They have they go to barbershops. They have like perfect fades.
I know. And I'm like, where'd you guys take that from? But you know, like it's just. Even like it's funny because like I've always had a bigger forehead and they're like, oh, I know why you cosplay One Piece characters. I'm like, okay, thank you. I know, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Like,
but you know what I'm saying? Like I just got a big brain.
Yeah, that's what like Code Lyoko characters, you know what I mean?
Oh.
You're cosplaying Code Lyoko.
Like angry nerds just want to be heard. that's all they want. You know what I mean?
Really?
Because for me, as an angry, like I don't know if I ever really get angry. I just get really passionate. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know.
Nah, angry is like you're being mean. Whereas,
I think
mean.
Passion,
yeah.
Let me put it like this. Here's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think passion is just an intensity of emotion. So I think it can absolutely be anger.
Yeah. Right.
That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about the internet.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's just, especially working in the internet, like it's just, you see some crazy stuff all the time, and you read the comments people say, and you're just like, y'all, are you okay?
Who raised y'all, right?
Bro.
Yeah, who raised you? Because like I would just get, chancla or something at me, like my mom.
Right. If your mom was hearing you talk,
like a slipper, like in freaking, I don't know, but she'll go crazy on me.
I meant to ask you this earlier, Vamp. Like,
yeah,
are you a first generation? Like your parents are the first ones here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so all three of us on the same boat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we've all had
things thrown at us. They did not
Yep.
care. They were like at Kmart, and I'm like, I really want this like Ninja Turtles toy, and my mom would be like, "Don't steal that," and I'm like, I can't take it. Like my mom's like, I'm like 4 years old, and I didn't understand anything. I'm like, I want Michelangelo, and she's like, you can't just take it.
That's hilarious.
I remember vividly, like I was just like holding the Michelangelo toy, and I didn't know what stealing was. I was 4 years old. So then I remember my mom saying, my child is too young. I didn't mean to steal, and she's an immigrant, like trying to speak English, and I didn't feel bad because I didn't understand. Like you're supposed to pay for stuff. So I'm in Oklahoma. I'm like, oh, is that stealing? My mom's all, that's stealing. And I'm like, oh.
Wow.
Michelangelo, can you buy it for me? Because I loved him. I thought he was my husband. I was like, Michelangelo's the hottest, like, Ninja Turtle,
Wow. The hottest Ninja Turtle. Of
the
ninja amphibians, he is the hottest.
He was the best. Did you guys?
I'm sorry. I want to correct myself real quick. He's a reptile. Turtles are reptiles. I'm sorry. Please don't flame me. No, they were going to come for me. No, they were going to come.
I don't care, because Michelangelo is the best.
Wow.
He is the best. He parties.
I've always been a Leonardo guy.
He can be kind of dumb acting, but he's very sweet.
I think they all represent like a very great, like, I think they all four turtles represent like a part of a full person.
That's hold on. What are you?
Ideal
who's
person.
Your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I've never been able to decide between Leonardo and Raphael.
Yeah, I was like, you feel like a Raphael.
I'm hella rebellious. Like,
Donatello, no? Not Donatello?
I love Donatello.
I mean, he's cool, but like no one's saying Donatello.
They make him lame. He's cool.
Yes.
But they make him lame.
I agree with that.
I think a lot of women really like Michelangelo because it's kind of like the party guy, like the guy that's kind of like untouchable, and you kind of want to be his buddy. Maybe it's just my girlfriends.
No, he's cool. Like I want to hang out with him, but I mean, for me, I'm just sort of like,
you don't want to be him.
Yeah, I don't want to be him. I was like,
no,
bro,
I mean,
get your ass in gear. Come on now, like folk.
So you're Raphael then?
No, I was Leonardo always.
Leonardo.
That's the thing. They all feel like they have like missing personality parts, which is why I've always assumed that they're all one part of a full person. Like if you were all of them, I'd be like, yo, you are a complete
ideal
person.
Man. They are Shredder all together.
Yeah.
Like, Shredder's got he's got traumas. Shredder should not be that angry.
No. Did you guys
those damn turtles?
Dude, when the movie came out, I was freaking out. I was like,
man.
Who
the
did
new
it?
one?
Not the new one. I'm talking about the old ones.
The old ones.
Yeah, I used to love those.
I just watched those sort of recently, and I really enjoyed them.
So in Discord, do you guys watch movies together?
I should. I don't.
People playing Elden Ring and like random stuff, like League of Legends and stuff. Like I'm always watching people play games.
I see. Well, for me, I have a movie night, and I make my community watch old movies with me.
I like.
So I make them watch all of Ninja Turtles. I make them all watch like Back to the Future, all of them.
Nice.
Like, all of that stuff. And they're like younger and they're just like, oh, this is why you liked it.
Favorite old movies? Give me two real quick.
Oh, there's too many. Dark Crystal. I really love Dark Crystal.
Wow.
I'm pretty basic, I guess, like with like my favorites.
A
favorite movie, you mean?
Yeah, Dark Crystal. You can't say I'm basic and then say Dark
I was like, that's a good one.
That's pretty basic.
Basic is what I'm about to say, so you're all right.
Yeah, you're killing it.
What is it?
I was about to say, like, I liked, like, of the old movies, I really, for whatever reason, The Breakfast Club is in my heart somewhere.
Oh, that's an amazing movie, though.
It's hella basic, though.
No, but I think Dark Crystal is basic.
That's fair.
So, What is your guys?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
The Warriors, dog. That's the other one. That was my second one.
Oh, Warriors is really cool.
From the 1978, I think it was.
Oh,
I really like the Warriors. I watched that movie like 4 times when I first saw it. I loved it.
Well, I mean that one's a good one, but I definitely I agree with your first one for sure. I really like that one. I should rewatch that. There's so many good movies back then. Are you guys wrestling fans? I love wrestling.
I as a kid I was, and then I the whole you realize it's fake and you don't want to believe it. But then it's like you realize it's supposed to just be a it's a play essentially.
Yeah, right.
Athletic
They're just
play.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it's fake. Yeah.
Yeah, it just in the 80s I was like wrestling, Ninja Turtle. Oh, that's 90s. Ninja Turtles, freaking robots. He-Man.
You're cool as hell, Vampy. Like, it's like that. I wish more people were like able to. Yeah.
I love He-Man. I love Rainbow Bright.
Did you like that new He-Man, by the way?
Huh?
Did you like that new He-Man, Masters of the Universe?
See, I don't want to. That is a touchy subject because I can sound real angsty, but it's good. I didn't finish it.
Okay. All right.
Like, it's good, but I didn't finish it, so it's not as. It's hard for me to separate older, like when they try to redo it.
Right.
I know it's good, but it's hard for me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I couldn't watch the rest of it, but I'm sure it was good.
All right.
Yeah.
That's super fair.
But I was like, what happened to the story?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've heard.
Skeletor? Like, he's here, but where's He-Man? Oh, there's a new character. Okay. So it's like, I thought it was going to be a different way, but maybe it's because the old lady in me that's talking, it's hard for me to separate sometimes.
Well, I don't even think you're very old. You don't sound very old. There's nothing about you that screams like old lady.
I'm just, inside I am this old Asian lady with permed hair. It's gonna happen. All Asian women end up with a perm.
That scares me. That scares me all the time. Because here's the thing. Whenever I date girls, I see them as old people. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this one.
What are you saying?
Yo, I see some of these girls and a girl will be like on one date with me. And she'll go by like a spa and she'll be like, I think I'm gonna cut my hair soon. And I'm like, oh no.
Okay. You're one of those.
I immediately know. I'm like, I know what this is about to be.
There are so many people that are like, when they start saying they're gonna cut their hair, that's when it goes downhill.
Bro,
and I'm like, that's so sad.
That's hilarious.
A lot of women look great with short hair.
I like short hair personally, but hey.
There's styles to it.
Well, I used to do hair. So I just know if you have short hair, you have good bone structure. People generally with long hair cover up things about their features that they don't like. This is just not everyone, but that's generally what people came in for cutting their hair. They're like, oh, I want to cover this side of my face, so I'm just going to have bangs here. But short hair is generally like accenting certain jaw bones and cheekbones and stuff. So my brother always said, I don't like girls with long hair because they look like you. So he would avoid me. But that's funny because I would always hear people say, when is Linda going to get to the point where she has a cane and perm hair? And I'm like,
dang.
It's a matter of time, man.
Next year, you're going to
next year. Wow.
Short permed hair, purple, like in Yakuza games. So,
ooh.
That's I missed out on that stuff. I really wanted to play it.
What?
I mean, I've only done Zero. I love Zero, and I want to
Zero is so good.
I loved it. I 100%ed it. Learned Mahjong so I can beat it all the way.
Oh no, you actually learned Mahjong?
I loved it. Yeah, it was hard.
Oh my god, I never got to
did.
that point.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm afraid of that game.
It's it took me a long time, but when I got
because if I learn it, I'm gonna like it.
You're gonna be one of them.
Man,
you gotta
I don't want to learn it. I don't want to learn it because I'm gonna like it and be hella getting towards my real age.
You're gonna be fit right there. That's when we get the cane going.
Hey guys, want to go to my hotel room after the con and play Mahjong?
Hell yeah!
But that's the thing though. That was the thing I was getting at earlier. It's like you don't seem old at all. Me and Godswill are, we're in our 30s, or we are 30.
Oh,
yeah, we're 30 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we both just turned 30. But it's like one of the things is 30 now. Like my dad had me when he was 33, and that's considered an older parent.
Yeah, that's old.
Oh yes, true.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like when I look at pictures of my dad at 33, that looked like a grown adult who had seen this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro,
with
I'm
the
chilling.
collar, sweater or whatever.
You see any kids back here?
I know.
I see a skateboard against the bed, and I see some.
Honestly, have you guys ever felt bad for not thinking about having? Do you guys want? Maybe it's too personal, but
no.
My mom gives me crap about not having kids, and she's like, "How are you gonna like?" keep on the last name, and I'm like, that's not my job though.
I was honestly, I'll let guys answer too. Like I was personally, like I was thinking about this for a while, and at first when I was younger, when I was way younger, and I thought very inside the lines, for lack of better terms, I was definitely thinking like, oh, I'll be married by the time I'm 27.
Yeah, same.
I'll have kids. You think all that stuff when you're like in high school and you're a child, but then as you get older,
yeah.
I definitely kind of came to the conclusion that I'm okay by myself. If that's what it turns out to be, I'm all right. I feel like a complete person. I may adopt. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
Because I don't really need it to be my specific genetics in order to love another human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like there's a lot of kids who need parents.
That's
I don't need to keep creating more just for the sake of creating more. So
that's a beautiful
really nice
thing.
Yeah, I do like that.
I'm all about that. That's so dope. Like I'm the same way with pets too. Like I rescue pets, and my dad just got a rescue dog, and there's a lot of love to go around for ones that don't have anyone. So that's really dope.
They'll appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
So
that'd be my
mom
punishment.
would want me to pop one out, and I'm like, no, because I can't go do what I want.
Like, have you seen me? I'm not doing none of that.
I'm like, I can't finish anything if but like
get into the
my friends
gunpla.
all have like 3 kids, 2 kids, and I'm like the only one. But I could be the auntie that spoils them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. As long as you're happy, that's what matters, right?
What about you, G? Have you ever...
for me, I definitely want kids. I mean, it's just not the time right now. Yeah, like also I do want to adopt too. Like I've always like had that in my head, like where I was like, I want to have like my own kids, but I do want to adopt and like treat them like the family for sure.
And then like let them do what they want, right? Because
I've always wanted to like be like when it's time to be a dad, like I always wanted to be the type of dad that would egg on my kids to be whatever they want to be, as long as it's good. Like as long as they're like put a goodness into the world.
They won't lose it. The kids won't lose any time, right?
Yeah.
Like I had these talks with my friends, and they kind of like egg on their children to be content creators really young, and I'm like, I don't know about that. They're like 5 years old.
Oh wow!
And they're like, no, they could be
all the money they can get.
They want. And I'm like, I don't know how that would work.
Right.
I kind of don't regret anything about how I was brought up,
Mm-hmm.
Like
made
because
you who you
it
are.
actually stabilized me into being not crazy.
Yeah.
On the internet, because I could have been.
There's a lot of people, like there's a lot of people who, especially people who like go into this content creation like in their early 20s. I've seen a lot of narcissistic people, sadly.
Oh.
Like it hits them like a ton of bricks. I'm like, yo,
let's not. Yeah, that is a touchy subject. If we talk about narcissism, it's freaking crazy. It's
their perception
crazy.
of things outside of them is like they cannot see things outside of. Yeah, it's rough.
That is beyond me. And I've met people that I'm just like, what universe are you from? Like, okay, I'll be very frank, and I say this often. When people talk to me, I'm still me.
Yes, absolutely.
In and out of everything I do, because it doesn't make sense to me to be 2 different people.
Put on a persona, yeah.
It kind of does. Why? That's like hella straining, tiring. Like that's a lot
exhausting.
of acting too. For what?
Right.
For what though?
You can't keep it up forever either. Like it's going to
that's
show
why
eventually.
People feel stressed out. Like that's why people feel trapped in these personas, because they build it up so much and then they can't be themselves.
Yeah.
That's why they want to quit. They have insane burnouts a lot of times, because when I talk to my friends who have these personas, I'm like, are you tired? They're like, hell yeah, I am. Because I'm like, then you're an actor.
Yeah.
You're pretty much acting every day.
I wonder,
you might as well do the things that you like, so it's not so straining.
That's okay. I agree with that last part. Specifically, I think that tied everything in for me. Because I wasn't going to try to like argue with you as much as I was going to try to bring up a counterpoint. Or I was going to say, part of this is like, for you, you can be yourself, right? I think a part of that is, I mean, hopefully I'm being respectful. It's like, I think a part of that is because people think you're attractive naturally, right? on general.
Well,
like,
I mean, I don't well, that's nice of you to say.
I would say because you're doing photo shoots, you're generally doing pretty good. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, out of 1,000 pictures, I get one good. I'm like, okay, that's the one. Like,
yeah.
Or 2 or 3.
But also,
yeah,
your personality is very palatable, and that's not to say that you're not like enjoyable to be around. You're very enjoyable to talk to.
Okay.
So these 2 things for you, naturally, you're very enjoyable to talk to, and like people think you're attractive.
Okay.
Now, you take a normal person, like we'll just say standard person on the internet who might just be okay looking, and maybe his personality is not as palatable as yours. Like he might be a little bit too much sometimes.
Right.
Or maybe he's too low energy and people don't understand why. I feel like that's why they put those faces on. They're like, man, I'm not good enough for the expectations that are expected.
I see. Okay, I see. Okay.
Although now you said, here's the thing though. Then you
I like that you're bringing these up. Okay.
Yeah. Then the thing is, I was about to bring that point up as like the main issue. I'm like, not everyone can just
as
be
a
themselves
counterpoint.
all the time.
Yeah.
But then you said you should hang out with people that enjoy the same thing as you. And that would fix the problem. And I've said this for dating too. Don't go to clubs if you don't like dancing. That's not your scene. You're not going to be comfortable there. Go somewhere like go to a bar.
It is very awkward. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, okay, so if you're talking about personas, right? A lot of it, especially now, is important to have a persona. Online, if you're not comfortable with expressing yourself all the way, totally fine. But I think that everyone has a specific type of look they like. Because even though some people find me palatable, whatever, or maybe attractive, a lot of people do not. Like, they're just like, I don't like that look. She's too loud for an Asian chick. She has too many opinions. Like, they have I'm Asian, duh, like, hello. I get the whole, like, maybe, like, I get the whole, like...
You're supposed to be a quiet doll.
Yes, I get that a lot because, when people meet me, they're just like, oh, snap, you actually have opinions. And I'm like, oh, wow, you said that to my face.
Right? He's like, I'm a person.
She's not the one, John. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, like, dude, like at Anime Expo, I'll just say it.
Yeah.
At Anime Expo, you guys are cool. Like, I don't even care if anyone hears this. At Anime Expo, I get that the most.
Oh, wow.
Because back then, I didn't do a lot of, I don't do a lot of this. I don't do a lot of anything talking. Back then, even Twitch I didn't do. So a lot of people didn't even know I had a voice. So when they met me, they're like, damn, she talks like a bro. Raised in California, whatever, and I kind of talk like this. So they're just like, dude, I didn't know you talk like that. Oh. And then they'll never come back to say hi to me.
Wow.
And I kind of understand why. They wanted that tight archetype. You know what I mean? The shy... blah, blah. Like, it doesn't even matter if they thought I was attractive. My pitch was not cute or whatever.
They're lost, though. They're lost. It's like, it's bizarre that, like, people will be pushed away from that, Like, I would hope that would be, like, an endearing thing. But they're lost if they're not able to, like,
this happened
deeper
very similar to, this happened to you too, Godswill. Because, so Godswill, he's a black nerd, but he grew up in a situation where he wasn't trying to be quote unquote hard. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to be like hella
the stereotype, I guess, right? Like what people think a black guy is supposed to be like, I guess, right?
He didn't come off that way to people.
That's very odd to me because all of the my friends who obviously they're nerdy, they're probably the nerdiest ones I know. I'm just like, y'all are you guys are way, way more nerdy than I am. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, I keep saying, I say this, I have a rule for life. I say black guys like 3 things. It's anime, fruit drinks, and butts. That's it. That's it.
Drinks.
Yeah.
Yo, I go to a bar, be like, give me the largest Mai Tai you have. I swear. I don't want don't give me hit me with that whiskey, miss me with that bullshit. Give me all the fruitiest things you got on the menu.
Oh man.
Anime, butts, and what?
Fruit drinks.
Fruit drinks.
Yes. I kid you not. If a black guy says he was like anime,
drink, though.
It does that.
Listen,
is
Kool-Aid. What is that?
I will ask my Discord because I talk to
all of them got fruit punch on their side while they're talking. They're like, yes.
How about candy? I don't know what Asian people like. There's a bunch of things that we
I
like.
personally like candy. I'm a sweet tooth, but I wouldn't know. I'm not sure if that's like
I like baked stuff.
Yeah.
Bake stuff?
Like baked goods. Like I like donuts and stuff like that. Like I'm really bad
Oh,
at
okay.
Yeah.
I gotta like really tempt myself there.
Yeah.
I like teas and stuff like that, like boba and like so basic stuff. I don't know.
Not boba's dope.
It's good, but yeah, no, it's stereotype.
I mean, man, there's so many. Yeah, it's just there's so many things to talk about, like in general,
For
about
real.
like what people think.
For real.
It's just kind of crazy.
We got to have you back on because like, there's so many topics I want to dive deeper into. I mean, we didn't even start talking. Oh my
I
gosh.
like that we winged it this first time because we got to know each other.
Hey, that's
this
what we do
fun.
on this podcast. We don't.
She said winged it this first time. We want to wing it the second time too.
You know, right?
That's all we do.
I've never.
That's the best though, because you can just talk about random stuff.
Oh, absolutely. No, this has been like a wonderful talk, and I'm really glad that you joined us. And like it flowed so naturally, and definitely we gotta have you back on again.
Yeah, thank
I
you
want to
so
do the
much,
One
guys.
Piece talk super soon for sure.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh,
or we can talk about Elden Ring, or like video games. Could be another.
There's a lot
one,
of shit we
you
gotta
know?
talk about.
Because it feels like we were talking about retro anime stuff today.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, there's a lot that we gotta talk about. Like I don't even know what the next topic will be with us, but we got maybe we gotta do Monster Hunter and then just like shoot the shit while we're doing it.
Or we can just record our session of playing.
I'm down. There we go.
No.
This is the
That'll
plan.
be cool.
This is the plan right here. I like this a lot. But thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Godswill.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It was fun.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so evidently I'm on all socials with
Hey.
VampyBitMe, and yeah, you can find me, just type in that. Super simple.
Boom.
And yeah, I mean, I'm on Twitter. Twitter's my favorite. And yeah, you probably see me retweeting a lot of model kit stuff. That's about it.
That's dope. That's what's up. Also, this was an awesome episode. We're hoping to put this out on Thursday, so I'll let you know like when that's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll let you know when that's out. We'll probably have some clips too. Thank you for everyone that listened all the way through. Love to hear about your favorites. Favorites from the '80s. Favorite Gundam. Favorite
Ninja
Monster
Turtle.
Hunter. Yeah, Ninja. Yeah, let
Oh
us
my
know.
God.
Definitely interested in that.
And it's Michelangelo.
I mean, Leonardo, but it's all good. All different types out here. Thank you so much for listening all the way through. Please subscribe, rate us, review us. Love to hear from you guys. And as always, stay dope, folks. Peace.
Peace.